everybody, this is Gerald Rogers, founder of the Creator Alliance and Prosperity Tribe, where I help purpose-driven entrepreneurs create wealth and freedom while doing what they love. Today's conversation is a little bit interesting. It's about how to get back in the flow when you've been knocked off track. And let's face it, this happens sometimes in this game of life. I mean, has it happened to you? Heavens knows I know it's happened to me, and it happens over and over again. And this is part of the game of just living. There's times where we're in the flow, where things are happening magically, and times where we just get out of sync, out of whack, and things just get screwed up. And I want you to think in your life, what are the biggest distractions, biggest blocks that keep coming up for you over and over again that get you out of a space of inspiration and into a space of desperation? And so maybe for you, you notice the things that get you out of flow, or you get distracted easily. Does this happen ever for you, where you're sitting down and you get distracted by this shiny object over there, or this idea here, or you start reading this book, or you start jumping into this conversation? The number one distractor from your productivity will be browsing, just searching and just allowing yourself to go based on wherever your attention is drawn. So number one, eliminate browsing if you want to be productive. Number two, do you ever have like negative conversations or negative energy that you experience from someone in your life, whether it be a spouse, a family member, a business partner, or someone else? So this often can derail us, get us off track, or maybe it's simply you have to deal with your own junk or fear around rejection. So say for instance, you're going out, you got some goals around your business, and you go out to make some things happen, and then all of a sudden what happens? Someone says no. And when someone says no, then you start to doubt yourself, you start to doubt your ability to create, and you put yourself in the cycle. So whatever it is, recognize the first step to getting back in the flow, getting back to a space of productivity after you've been knocked off sync, is to simply identify, okay, what was the block? And to see clearly and open your eyes and say, oh, I can see that is why I got knocked off track. And to have some awareness and take accountability. What was the belief that was behind your actions? What would you have to believe to be able to get knocked off track like that? Second of all, it's really important that you take accountability. This is where the game starts, to take accountability and understand that you are responsible as a powerful and intentional creator for the results of your life. So if you want to shift out of being frustrated, stuck, desperate, whatever it might be, in this mode of scarcity, into a mode of abundance and productivity and power, then it's this conscious choice to say, I decide that I will be a conscious creator. There's some times where it's okay to be stuck, but you can only be stuck for so long before you wake up and say, it's time for me to move forward. It's time for me to create. It's time for me to live my passion and mission more fully than I have before. And it requires to be an intentional and conscious creator, and to make that choice and to own the fact that you are accountable for the results of your life. So the next principle, the next key to get back into a state of productivity is to get present. I mean, let's face it, most of our negative emotions that we experience come from stories that we run within our mind about what's happened in the past or what will happen in the future. I had this experience recently where I was having some frustrations in one of my relationships, and in that I kept going back to painful conversations or experiences or stories from the past, and it brought up all this pain and fear and anger. And then I thought about what will happen in that relationship in the future, and it's super frustrating because when we're caught in the negative stories of the past or projecting negative stories to the future, we're anywhere but here. And here, right now, is the moment of your power, the moment that you can create, the moment that you can choose. Now is the only moment that we have power over. And so as a conscious creator, when we can learn to just be present and realize, we have everything that we need right now, and to trust that the divine will continue to bless us with abundance and opportunity, and know that everything will work together for our good, and to understand that all of these past experiences are also part of building blocks to make us who we are and to help us prepare for the future. When we can also see life through that lens and open our eyes to see that possibility that may be the truth, and it's not these negative patterns or negative outcomes, everything has a purpose, and we're just present right now, then we can step into experiencing the gratitude for this moment. And that gratitude is your place of power and peace. So own and just be grateful for everything that you have right now, and release the negative stories from the past, release the projection of the future, and switch it. So this is the next step, to switch it, to switch those stories, and to look, okay, if I were to be productive, if I were to go out and create and live my mission and purpose and dreams, what would I need to believe? And then to look from the past and draw from the past these past experiences and these past victories that you've had. You have enough validation from your past to believe whatever you choose to believe that you are a powerful and divine, inspired creator, to believe that you can do whatever you want, to believe that you are loved, to believe that you are worthy, to believe that you can go out and make hard things happen. You've got experiences from the past that prove that, don't you? But until you get present and own those victories from the past, they'll elude you. So embrace those. And then you project those in the future and say, okay, well, if I have the ability to create whatever I want for my life, which is a core belief that we have as conscious creators, if I had the ability to create whatever I want, what would I want to create? And to see that as a vision, as a possibility for the future, and to drive towards that and to believe that is where I'm going and that's where I'll be, and to recreate that future. So in being present, we allow ourselves to experience the victories from the past, the positive stories that reinforce us, to see the vision for the future and where we're going, because that helps us align to make sure the choices we make right now, the choices that we make today, help us to move forward and reach that vision. So the next step in terms of moving out of a state of stuckness to a state of productivity is to reclaim your vision. To get really clear and to emotionally experience why you do what you do. Why is it that you go to work every day? Why is that important? And to connect with who are the people that you serve? What is this mission that you're on? What are the gifts that you're creating? What are the talents that you're developing? So that in that space, when you reconnect to the vision, it gives meaning for today, and it also builds a sense of excitement and purpose and passion. This purpose and passion is fundamental to moving into a state of power. And through that state of power, you can create whatever it is that you want. And then everything else is just getting down to the mechanics and getting in momentum and creating a momentum that will propel you to move forward day after day after day after day. And what you'll notice is the moment you get knocked off track, if you can come back and reconnect to these exact same principles, which I just shared with you, you'll be able to switch the flip the switch, and you'll be able to start creating and moving and creating momentum again in your life. And just know this is all part of the journey of life. Every experience builds us. Every experience we learn from when we are receptive to the lesson that's there. So seek for the lessons. Don't judge yourself if you get knocked off track. Just listen and say, okay, it's time for me to realign, and it's time for me to create, and it's time for me to move forward. And simply don't think about all the things you need to do. Focus on what is the next step. When you focus on what the next step is, anything is possible. Anything is possible when you just take one step at a time. And so that's my encouragement, that you just get over being stuck, you just pick yourself up, you focus on these principles we just shared, and you move forward, and you claim your life, and you remember always that you have one life to live. Live big.